Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Praja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Praja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishpad Brahmahamsa Parivrajacharya Vishtotra Shatashishman His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Grantaraj srimadbhagavatam Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. So there's a farmer's market in North County. Yeah. What time does it start? Yeah. Oh, it starts at 5:30. Even when the sun sets and they're just getting going, or what? You know about it, Damodar Kumar? Oceanside, yeah. Okay. Because sometimes things change due to the seasons, you know, if the sun's sets earlier. What about the colleges? Are the colleges open? Any colleges? You know about that, Damodar Kumar? Oh yeah, even Cal State, huh? San Marcos. Okay. Okay. All right. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, so this is the fourth canto, entitled Creation of the Fourth Order, chapter 21, Instructions to Maharaj Prithu, text 28 and 29. We'll just chant 28, it's on the board. Manor Uttana Padasya Dhruvasyapi Mahipatehe Priyavartasya Rajarshir Angasyasmat Pitu Pituhu. Maybe I'll just chant that one because a lot of devotees have the verses there on their devices, right? Idishanamatan yesham ajasya cha bhavasya cha praladasya baleshtapi Katyam asti gadabhata Manor utana padasya Dhruvasyapi mahipatehe Priyavartasya rajarshir Angasyasmat pitu pituhu Idishanamatan yesham Ajasya cha bhavasya cha Praladasya balishtapi Katyam asti gadapata Mano utana padasya Dhruvasyapi mahipatehe Priyavartasya rajarshir Angasyasmat pitu pituhu Idishanamatan yesham Ajasya cha bhavasya cha Praladasya balishtapi Katyam asti gadapita. Okay. Okay. Word by word. Manoho of Manu. Swayambhuva Manu. Uttanapadasya of Uttanapada. The father of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruvasya of Dhruva Maharaj. Papi, certainly. Mahipatehe of the great king. Priyavratasya of Priyavrata, in the family of Maharaj Dhruva. Rajarshehe of great saintly kings. Angasya of the name Anga. Asmat, my. Pituhu of my father. Pituhu of the father. Idrishanam of such personalities. Ata also. Anyesham of others. Ajasya of the supreme immortal. Cha also. Bhavasya of the living entities. Cha also. Api certainly. Where would I skip? Okay. Praladasya of Maharaj Pralad. Balehe of Maharaj Bali. Cha also. Api certainly. Krityam acknowledged by them. Asti there is. Gadabrita of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who carries a club. I got distracted from Vraj Mohan's voice. Sorry, I skipped a few words there. And I was thinking about how Vraj Mohan should give some classes. So, oh yeah? Okay. What is it? Oh, he doesn't need a mic. Oh, that's true. He's got a built-in mic. Right? Okay, translation. This is confirmed not only by the evidence of the Vedas, but also by the personal behavior of great personalities like Manu, Uttanapada, Dhruva, Priyavrata, and my grandfather, Anga, as well as by many other great personalities and ordinary living entities, exemplified by Maharaj Prahlad and Bali, all of whom are theists, believing in the existence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead who carries a club. So this verse is saying this is confirmed. Does anyone remember, without looking back, some of the younger devotees, what is this verse referring to, that this is confirmed not only by the evidence of the Vedas, but also by the personal behavior of great personalities? Does anyone remember? Yeah. The clue is it's the statement in the previous verse. Remember? Not the clue, the fact. Unusually beautiful. Yeah. So they're, yeah. That's it. That's true. So the statement was, my dear respectful ladies and gentlemen, according to this authoritative statements of Shastra, Scripture, there must be a supreme authority who is able to award the respective benefits of our present activities. Otherwise, why should there be persons who are unusually beautiful and powerful both in this life and in the life after death? So that's... Where did we... oh yeah, club. We ended at club. Okay. Purport. Narottam Das Thakur states that one has to ascertain the right path for his activities by following in the footsteps of great saintly persons and books of knowledge under the guidance of a spiritual master. Sadhu, Shastra, Guru, Vakya. A saintly person is one who follows the Vedic injunctions, which are the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The word Guru refers to one who gives proper direction under the authority of the Vedic injunctions and according to the examples of the lives of great personalities. The best way to mold one's life is to follow in the footsteps of the authorized personalities like those mentioned herein by Prithu Maharaj. Beginning with Swayambhuva Manu. The safest path in life is to follow such great personalities, especially those mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Mahajans, or great personalities, are Brahma, Lord Shiva, Narada Muni, Manu, the Kumaras, Prahlad Maharaj, Bali Maharaj, Yamaraj, Bhishma, Janaka, Shukdev Goswami, and Kapila Muni. Huh? Yeah. Om Jnanatipanandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmabhitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Kam Karitavachalam Pangam Nangayate Girim Yakripatamaham Vande Shri Gurun Diditanam Panchakabdibishta Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gauda Bhaktirinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, the translation again. This is confirmed not only by the evidence of the Vedas, but also by the personal behavior of great personalities like Manu, Uttanapada, Dhruva, Priyavrata, and my grandfather Anga, as well as by many other great personalities and ordinary living entities, exemplified by Maharaj Prahlad and Bali, all of whom are theists, believing in the existence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who carries a club. So, when we this verse and purport, it's mentioning the idea of authorities. And people have different, you could say, authorities that they follow. And the question's brought up of what makes one an authority. And of course it depends on what field you're working in. If you're working in, I don't know, if you're authority on tennis or something, if you're authority on volleyball, if you're authority on skateboarding, I mean, there's some authority. There's all different types of authority. It means that you are trained in the particular knowledge that of the field you're working in, and that you're experienced. Like a professor. A professor. He's an authority on a particular subject. So, like our Hasagrami, he's not a professor, but our Hasagrami is a math teacher now. It's kind of interesting. In Florida. Yeah, he said he's teaching students from like 6th grade to 12th grade.
They call him Mr. Grami or Mr. Das?
Mr. Grami Das. I don't know what they call him. Mr. Sam, Mr. Shenton, I don't know. Yes, Mr. Shenton. I'd like to sit in one of his class just to observe it. Hey, Mr. Shenton, Maybe, anyways. Maybe I could go out to Florida one time just to observe one of his classes. But first he's acting as a substitute. As of now, he has his, I suspect he has his, pants and his shirt, his tie and all that. Kevin used to be a substitute too. Interesting enough. And now he's going to be a real teacher soon, math teacher. So the students, they accept him as authority. Why? Because he went to school himself and he learned the science of math, how to do math, right? And aside from learning math and being, good at it, he had to do other schooling to be a teacher. Take certain tests, and he passed, and then he's authorized. It's not just any chump, right? Or anyone could just walk off the street and say, "Hey, I'm a teacher. You guys ready to learn?" There's a whole different, you could say, hoops that he has to jump through to become an authority. So, and he's working, you could say, Hasagrami, he's working on, or any math teacher for that matter, they're working on the previous authorities, the path that they have chalked out, previous math teachers, and, when math was created. Does anybody know when math was created? Huh? Beginning of the universe? Okay. So, it's a whole system, you could say, like a disciplic succession, how to teach math. What is math, right? So similarly, within Krishna consciousness, it's not just that one becomes an authority of Vedic knowledge or authority on any level. Willy-nilly or just whimsically. But one becomes a. Does anybody remember this this term willy-nilly? You know where it comes from? Someone told me the other day. Was that you that told me? Yeah. Okay, what does it mean? Yeah. I want to give this man the mic. Very important. Very important. Here, we got to get the mic. You got the mic? It's very important. Willy-nilly. This term. It's an old term. Us millennials may not know it. I'm a millennial too.
The online dictionary said it comes from 17th century term or phrase, will I, nil I. It's like kind of like we would say on the mental platform, like, oh, should I not, should I not.
Should I not.
So basically, will I, no, nil I won't. I will, I won't. I will, I won't.
Yeah.
So it's good to kind of, what's the word? Anyway, you get the idea.
Yeah, so it's not just, you could say like a whimsical or, oh, will I become authority, won't I become authority, and it's all based like on mental concoctions or something. But one becomes an authority due to, you could say, not exactly jumping through hoops to accomplish it, but due to surrendering, preserving and surrendering to you could say, culture that has been exemplified and taught by the previous acharyas, by the previous teachers. So in other words, we have a whole disciplic succession. Srila Prabhupada, first and foremost, founder acharya of the Hare Krishna movement. So we have to know exactly what he is trying to teach us. And aside from that, we have to preserve that knowledge and pass it on. And we have to surrender to it. We have to surrender to it. So, for example, Srila Prabhupada would speak sometimes and he'd say, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness is a missionary movement. The movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what was Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all about? He was about chanting and dancing and spreading love for Krishna by that method. And Srila Prabhupada, as we say every day, Gauravani Pracharina, he's coming to America to preach the message of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it's a missionary activity, and Srila Prabhupada exemplified that to the greatest degree. So that principle that, hey, it's a missionary movement. So what am I doing in relation to the missionary activities? Personally, we could ask ourselves. In other words, how am I preserving, and how am I surrendering to the mood and to the mission of the previous acharyas? Or else it just becomes a society of cheaters and cheated, or you could say kanishtas, kanishta bhaktas, which means materialistic bhaktas, prakrita bhaktas, which means that they see Krishna on the altar, which is good. It's good to see Krishna. It's great. It's our great fortune to see Krishna, right? I hope we feel that way. You can't see Krishna today? There's that curtain there? Oh, your glasses are broken? All right, we'll give you the divine vision. Okay, you see Krishna. It's great mercy to see Krishna or at least to be seen by Krishna, right? At least to try to see Krishna, to take darshan. Not you darshan, this darshan. Darshan means to see. So, it is great mercy. But if we don't see Krishna in the hearts of all the living entities, and therefore, on the basis and the proof that we don't see Krishna in the heart of other living entities is we don't know how to deal with them properly. Means we don't know how to deal with devotees properly. We don't know how to deal with the non-devotees properly, which means the way to deal with the non-devotees is two. One, you preach to them, not at them, to them. You talk to them like a person. And two is that, or you just avoid them because they're too envious. So that's how we deal with non-devotees. And the way we deal with devotees is dadati pratigrinati guya maikati prichati bhunkte bhojate chaiva shad vidhim priti lakshanam. Priti lakshanam. So priti means with love, affection, not like you're in jail or something and you're going through the line and I suspect that there's people who are serving them the food, so they don't take too much. They have that famous thing, when you're in prison and you're sitting next to a guy and the guy says, "Hey man, you gonna eat that?" Anyways, side point. But when they're serving you in jail food, and there are people serving again because they don't want you taking too much. So they serve you. Like sometimes we have our Raj Bhog and these big festivals. I'm not criticizing it, but I'm just saying, we make sure to serve people so they don't, overload or something. But yeah, they're serving, but where's the affection? Where's the love? Where's the priti? It's just like, yeah, man, here, take it, get moving, So we don't want to be like that. We want to, if we offer something to devotees, we want to make sure that we're offering it with priti, with affection. That, oh, here, Prabhu, or whatever, Mataji, Prabhu, whatever. Or, anyways. You offer it, and you want to make sure that they like it. You don't want to offer someone some, eggplant sabji if they hate eggplant, Oh, Prabhu, I made this for you, this eggplant sabji. It's like, oh, I don't really, well, I appreciate it, but, it'd be better if you knew what I liked, In the principle, it's like that. So that's how we deal with devotees. Priti, 611 exchanges, offering prasad, accepting prasad, offering gifts, accepting gifts, revealing one's mind and confidence, right? You have to reveal your mind and trying to take guidance, right? These are 11 exchanges. And if we remain, or if somebody becomes too attached, you could say, to the Kanishta platform, which means like neophyte platform or beginner's platform, materialistic platform, then they can't see devotees properly, they can't see people properly, and therefore they remain offensive perpetually. Which offenses completely block one from actually attaining Krishna consciousness. So yeah, to follow the mood and the mission of the authorities, previous acharyas, is to have a missionary spirit. And that doesn't necessarily mean that everybody's got to, after this class, they have to, run to the book room and load up a book bag and, hit the streets, which you could say maybe that'd be good, but not necessarily one has to do that. One could. There's, you could say, frontline soldiers, there's backline soldiers, there's, many things we have to do to keep things going. And we should realize that over time, all of us, or some of us, just by the nature of time, we may be put in authoritative, you could say, post within ISKCON, whatever that may be. Vice President, Temple President, GBC, Sannyasi, whatever, this leader, that leader.
Head hygienic device cleaning specialist.
Yeah, head hygienic device cleaning specialist. You know what that means?
You wash the toilet.
Means you wash the toilets. Yeah. So, anyways, whatever the point is, that you may be in some. We may enter some post. But we want to be very careful that from now until then, we have to really work on our heart. We have to purify ourselves. Because once we enter that post, people are going to be looking up to us and so on, trying to take guidance from us, and we have to be pure, at least in our intention. And have the right, you could say, conceptions of Krishna consciousness, based on the authorities of previous authorities. And here are some good examples. So we have Narada Muni, Lord Shiva, Brahma, Manu, Kumaras, Prahlad Maharaj, Bali Maharaj, Yamaraj, Bhishma, Janaka, Shukadev Goswami, Kapila Muni. So each one of these personalities, we could definitely have a class in and of itself. Maybe we should someday have a class on each of these personalities. So it's difficult to cover all of them in short time. But yeah, there are gurus, they are examples, and they are the Mahajans, one's great personalities were meant to follow. And one of the ones that I've been meditating on recently is Narada Muni. And Narada Muni has a very interesting, you could say, past, in that before he was Narada Muni, in the Bhagavatam explains, and the life before Narada Muni, he was a son of a maidservant. And that practically means it was not a very aristocratic or sophisticated birth. It was a low birth. And in some of these cases, they don't even know who their father is. So that's considered a low birth. Or, like there was one Muni or one sage, and apparently he was going to accept a guru, accept a spiritual teacher, and the teacher wanted to know his history. So he said, who's your father? And the boy said, I don't know. So then he said, let me go ask my mother. So then he went to his mother, and then he asked his mother, so mother, who's my father? And then she said, I don't know. So then he went back to his guru, and he said, well, I don't know who my father is, and my mother doesn't know who my father is. And then the guru said, okay, I accept you. He said, you're a Brahmin, because Brahmins tell the truth. Anyways. So it was an unfortunate situation. Narada Muni didn't know his father. I mean, there's no mention of his father in the Bhagavatam, son of a maidservant. But his mother was very pious. She was very good-hearted. So, as the tradition is within India, in a particular time, they have Chaturmasya time. They have Chaturmasya, which is the rainy season, 4-month rainy season, and all the sannyasis and traveling mendicants, preachers, they all, you could say, take rest from preaching for 4 months because it's raining. They just, they're somewhere in an ashram. So they did that. These Bhaktivedantas, Prabhupada called them Bhaktivedantas. So they rested at Narada Muni's house, or ashram, or his mother's place, and his mother was there. And it said that Narada, that this boy, he would hear talks about Krishna from the Bhaktivedantas. He would hear from them, and he said that he would take their remnants of food. After they were done, he would accept the remnants of food, prasad, and he would serve them, whatever it was, do their laundry, this, that, menial services. So over time, it said because he was associated with the Bhaktivedantas in this way, it said that whatever love for Krishna they had, whatever spiritual opulence they had, he started to develop, and he became a great devotee. So in other words, a devotee carries, let's say, bhakti, and is able to inspire people in that way. And specifically, whatever they touch, you could say, whether it's, prasad, they eat some prasad, they leave some remnants, it's spiritually surcharged. And also, their clothes are also spiritually surcharged. It's called tadiya, which means something in relation to the person. Therefore, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave Maharaj Prataparudra a piece of his sannyas cloth, and Maharaj Prataparudra in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he worshipped it as non-different, or as very. So therefore, the idea is we wear saintly person's clothes if possible. Like in the Bhagavatam, Uddhava, he would wear Krishna's clothes, hand-me-downs, Krishna's clothes. So we want to be careful not to wear others' clothes, because there's certain energy that's there. So these things are surcharged. Clothes, the remnants, their speech, their words, just by seeing them, they're surcharged with spiritual potency. Just like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, we were talking the other day. He just said a few words to Srila Prabhupada, and those few words completely changed, or completely inspired Srila Prabhupada to do what he did over time. He meditated on those words, and it just changed everything. Changed the whole world, actually. Changed all of us, changed everything. The course of history. So it has a lot of power. So he became a great devotee. And then he left, or his mother left to go, get milk, or get some water from the well, whatever she was doing. And she got bit? Yeah. She got bitten or bit? Bitten? She was bitten? Okay. She was bitten. Anyways, you understand the point. By a snake. And she died. And this boy was young. He was like 5 years old, something like that. Young boy. He wasn't teenage. He was young. So what did he do? He went traveling in the forest, and he was looking for Krishna, and he didn't take shelter of anything material. He was looking for Krishna. And it said he became so advanced that actually Narayan, Krishna, appeared to him, gave him darshan. But then it said Krishna, Narayan disappeared from his vision, and he said, "You won't be able to see me until your next life." So you could say, "Oh, why did Krishna do that? Why did Narayan do that?" Well, one is that if you have something and you lose it, you can't help but just meditate on that, right? If someone has a lot of money, they lose it, you can't help but meditate on the money, or whatever it may be. So it increased the meditation of Krishna, of Narada Muni, and also like the residents of Vrindavan, when Krishna leaves, it increases their meditation, right? There's a certain ecstasy, you could say, that's to be experienced in separation. And also to teach the world an example. And that example is that, we can't just demand Krishna to appear before us. And also, it's not that Narada Muni became all frustrated and, Krishna appeared and now he's gone and I'm giving up Krishna consciousness or something. Or it's like, I experienced the nectar of Krishna consciousness and now I'm not experiencing it. Okay, I'm giving it up. And also to teach us that ultimately he accepted the shelter, or went for the shelter of, his meditation on Narayan. And then in his next life, he became Narada Muni, the great transcendental spaceman, Mahajan, great Acharya, who travels the universe, sings about Krishna, plays on his, what is it called? Veena. He's practically in every canto of the Bhagavatam. He's in the 10th canto in Krishna's pastimes, and every canto practically is there. Very important, unique, special personality. And how did all this happen? He was a young boy taking the remnants, doing service for the Bhaktivedantas. So, you could say we're in the Bhaktivedanta family, right? Srila Prabhupada, it's Bhaktivedanta, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, so we're like in the Bhaktivedanta family. And there's many, say, qualified persons who we could become, get their blessings. And in this way we could have a hopefully a blessed future like Narada Muni. That's the idea. And two last thing is that, anyways, I think these things are too long to... There's two little stories about two Prabhupada disciples and about how they were reformed over time to a very, wonderful... devotees helped them out. But I think that's too long because of the time. But the point is, the guru, we're talking about gurus here and acharyas and follow in the footsteps of the acharyas, and another principle of the acharyas themselves or the gurus themselves, and also ourselves following in their mood, is that the process is to reform people, not to reject them. So, of course, whatever, some people are, they can't be reformed, some people, but we want to try our absolute best, and that's the last. Prabhupada, I think he only rejected one of his disciples who was a real rascal. He went up to Prabhupada, "Oh, Prabhupada, please bless me to find a real guru." Completely foolish person. And then Prabhupada said, so I've heard from one Prabhupada disciple who I accept as an authority, he said, Prabhupada said, "I bless you that you won't meet a guru for another 60,000 births." Now, this devotee was saying that this is Prabhupada's mercy, actually. And why is that? Because if it was Krishna dealing with him, it might have been a lot longer. Might have been, who knows. But, of course, the devotees also talk about this devotees that after Prabhupada would reject him and send a letter out to the temple, "Oh, this person's a snake, don't let him around." Prabhupada asked about him, "Oh, where's so-and-so?" So it's not that Prabhupada, for the benefit of the devotees and this and that, for the benefit of this person so he doesn't become more offensive. But in principle, Prabhupada, the idea is there that you do not reject but you reform. So that's Guru principle. Okay, so does anybody have any questions or comments?
Is there a method where that separation generates bliss and contemplation? What is that? And how much separation must there be?
Yeah. Well, first of all, we have to become attached or in love. That word's kind of... But we have to become attached or addicted or in love or develop affection or real, you could say, attachment to Krishna, raga, right? Or some taste, ruchi, right? We have to develop some taste, some attraction for Krishna. And then, when we're separated from Krishna, for example, like the altar here, okay, we'll all go and we'll do our duties, this and that, and then we're kind of, you could say, kind of separated from the deities, from seeing the deities. So, if we become, if we really become attached to Radha Giridhara, if we become attached to Krishna, Archamurti, the deities, then while we're separated from them, we'll still be meditating on them. We'll still be feeling their mercy, meditating, and it may increase our meditation. But if we don't have any attachment to Krishna, then we're separated from Krishna, but it doesn't really, it's just out and out separation. Just like the souls in this material world. There's Krishna in the spiritual world, and then the souls in this material world. Now, souls who are devotees, who have become devotees, they feel separation from Krishna. I want to be with Krishna, right? I want to see you, Krishna. I want to serve you. I want to go to the spiritual world. There's some separation there. But souls who aren't devotees, who are just in complete illusion, there's no. They don't feel that. They're just literally separated. right? But they don't feel the separation because there's no affection there. Just like, they sing, they have all these cheesy songs, that they sing nowadays. Or if you're vegan, then I don't know, you say, what's vegan cheese? Vegan cheesy songs. But songs are like, oh, I want to see you, and, anyways, I didn't want to repeat it, so I won't even repeat the song because it's just, I don't want to, poison everybody's mind or something. But they're just cheesy songs in which I'm thinking about she's a woman, she happens to be a woman, but she's singing about her boyfriend or whatever. And I don't want the lyrics, but it's some kind of, you could say, distorted reflection of her having affection and love for her boyfriend or whatever. And therefore she feels some separation. But without that affection or attachment, there's no separation. So we have to develop attachment first, and then we could experience separation. So that's the first step. So, yeah. And we develop attachment by every day, just like Javita Prabhu quoted the other day, Rupa Goswami, or he quotes Rupa Goswami often, but about Yat Krishna Nama Charita, like that verse. Sat Krishna Nama, yeah. Sat Krishna Nama. That the materially inflicted tongue, inflicted by jaundice, cannot taste that which is sweet, like sugar candy or honey or whatever. Burfi, they can't taste that's what's sweet. But what happens when they taste it? It tastes bitter. You put that burfi in your mouth and it's bitter. What's something that's naturally bitter besides bitter melon? Neem, yeah. It's like you put neem leaves. It's like you try to eat burfi, but it tastes like neem leaves. So he says similarly with the chanting of the holy names and so on, meditating on Krishna, it seems bitter sometimes. Oh, no taste. It doesn't taste sweet. It tastes bitter. But he said by every day, by carefully chanting these names and glories of Krishna, it says that one will develop a taste, because what's the cure for curing jaundice? You have to eat sugar, or sugar candy, sugar cane juice. You have to subject yourself to sugar, and then by that subjecting yourself to sugar, you become cured, and you're able to taste the sugar, sweetness. So similarly, we have to chant every day, or we won't have taste for it. Same goes with kirtan, right? Kirtan we have to engage in every day, or it's very difficult to develop taste for it, or whatever it may be. So that's the, you could say, cure, to do it every day for nourishment. So, all right, does anybody have any last? Share a pastime with Narada Muni and Prabhupada. Okay, so one I know is a quick one of that. Prabhupada was in Conway Hall in London, and Prabhupada was chanting Hare Krishna. And there were a bunch of people there. Yamuna Devi was there, all the devotees. Prabhupada was chanting. And then all of a sudden, Prabhupada starts singing a song that the devotees never heard before. It's in our songbook. Narada Muni Bhaja Veena. It's talking about how Narada Muni is traveling. He's playing his Veena, glorifying Krishna, right? And Prabhupada starts singing that. And the devotees are saying, oh, why is Prabhupada all of a sudden singing this song that we don't know, we never heard? But then all the devotees, they feel like this ecstasy. Yamuna Devi and all the devotees, they feel this special bliss, ecstasy. And they're wondering, what's going on? Very special kirtan going on. So then, this is in Yamuna Devi's book. A really nice book. 2-volume book. So then later, Yamuna Devi, she asked Prabhupada, she goes, well, Prabhupada, you're chanting Hare Krishna, and then you started singing this song about Narada Muni. What's this song? And she said, Prabhupada, we really felt something special going on. There's some special bliss. And Prabhupada said, yes. The reason I started singing that is because I saw Narada Muni in the back. And, became inspired. That's what Prabhupada said. So I'm just repeating what Prabhupada said. Yes.
So many devotees here now who weren't here when Vijay gave his classes, I think. There's several of them. And I was just bowled over because he told a pastime that I'd never heard before. There's this devotee named Bhaktisiddhanta, who was a great sculptor, and he worked on a lot of the works that went into decorating the Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan. He stayed there for many years. I don't know if he's there now. And he said that one other devotee told him that he was guarding Prabhupada's door, because when Prabhupada, they would always have someone at Prabhupada's door and wherever he stayed, so that, just guarding his room. So that means the devotee would be there in the middle of the night and everything. So he's there, and he hears all this shuffling going on in the room, and he doesn't know what's going on. And so he opens the door a crack, and he sees Prabhupada. It's like this, and he's moving around. And his eyes widen, and I think Prabhupada saw him. And so, you heard this? Did you? So, the devotee, of course, he opened the door, then he offered his obeisance, dandavats, and Prabhupada said, can I help you? And he said, Prabhupada...
That was all serious now.
What were you doing? What were you just doing? So Prabhupada, I don't know if he laughed or not, I don't want to embellish it too much. He said, I was wrestling with Balaram. I'd never heard like that before. That particular pastime.
Well,
From Bhaktisiddhanta Das.
Vijay heard that from Bhaktisiddhanta Das, who heard it from another devotee.
Who actually saw it. No, he
Heard it from another devotee who experienced it. No.
But it's not the kind of thing you're going to make up, believe me. Certainly someone who's trusted to be the guard, I don't know the name of who that was. I tried to find out who actually saw it, But that's interesting. Because there's all this speculation. What is Prabhupada's rasa? What is Prabhupada's rasa,
Yeah.
And some say, I never heard this one, but there are other indications that Prabhupada was a cowboy,
Yeah, because that poem.
The poem, and this one lady who was Gopal Krishna's wife when he was a householder,
Ekani.
Ekayani, who Prabhupada said, apparently he told her this and that. But that was just like, okay, put that into the hopper.
All right, Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai.